Good evening, listeners, and thanks once again for receiving us in your homes with your heart's love as we continue in our studies of keys to the kingdom. As usual, it's a great treasure. We all understand we are studying together. When we have shared our thoughts, you also have the opportunity to share your thoughts, and we also learn something from you. Thank you very much. We will be continuing our studies on becoming God, the path of the Christian mystic. For you know, Makonya so Etia Obibia, Edamasi say, and then so Odo Akumapa, Moaji Awa to Mufia Betua, ye addition so. Na send a can live on air the pass, and Yajatun say, yes, you idea, and I can't idea, Wakunya say, Musum Vetcher Moadrin. Then so if you send the fee, Moin Chain. Edamasi Bebre. You bet you ask to ask your idea if I send you be down your home yammy, and I say, be ye yammy. Send ya, you bet you no more, I bet ye yammy. If you say your boy and yammy, boy and his suban in his war, and you or say yensu, you better yammy. Until you bet you ask to ask ya. Na meka brofo kakra na masamba 96.9 na mwanya abutre amami kakra. Listeners, we will take a little step back so that we can connect properly with our topic after last week's showdown on the Christian disco and pastor in the disco and so on and so forth. Let's reconnect ourselves and move on. The most important thing in that session is that God prepares us for specific missions. And when you go on that mission, it may sound odd to somebody who doesn't know that it is a mission designed by God for you. If you don't go into the abyss, you can't go and deliver those in the abyss. But you must be well prepared to go there. Otherwise, you can't come back safe. The path of the Christian mystic, like I said, we'll take a little step back to reconnect, and then we move ahead. So we say the goal of the Christian mystic is to become one with God, or as some of the mystics say, becoming God has been a part of the Christian mystical tradition since the time of Jesus Christ. Early Christians referred to the doctrine of deification, deification. How something will become a deity, deification. But where is this teaching today? We do not hear it being preached from the pulpits. Although volumes and volumes have been written by and about the many saints who have walked the earth, the churches are not teaching the full story of the lives of the saints or what it takes to pursue a path of sainthood all the way to union with God. They are not teaching that it is possible to be a saint and that you can pursue this path and still be a member of your family, society, and the world. In the early 20th century, John Arretero, a Spanish theologian who sought to revive the teachings of the mystics, lamented, quote, "Unfortunately, these sublime and consoling doctrines of the mystics are utterly forgotten. Deification, so well known to the church fathers, but unfortunately forgotten today, is the primary purpose of the Christian life." Deification is the primary purpose of the Christian life. Imagine if the churches were teaching today that we are intended to become God and that this is the goal of life. Aritero also noted that the early Christians understood that their goal was to become united with Christ in such a way that they too will acquire divine power. He said, the act of the martyrs and the customs of the first centuries offer us interesting evidence of this fact. The Christians of these times appreciated, understood, and lived the supernatural life in such a way that they liked to be called God bearers or Christ bearers. They led their mystical life to such an extent that in their supernatural nature, they want to be called God bearers or Christ bearers. Therefore, when the Roman Emperor Trajan asked Saint Ignatius of Antioch, "Who is the God bearer?" the latter answered, "It is he who carries Christ in his heart." A God bearer is he who carries Christ in his heart. A God bearer is he who carries Christ in his heart. So if you want to be a God bearer, you must carry Christ in your heart everywhere. If you want to be God, you must be Christ. This concept of wanting to be good or wanting to become a saint is a desire that is not only legitimate but necessary. You cannot become what you do not desire to become. Your desire is a spring that releases the energy that causes all of the atoms of your being and your subconscious to come into alignment with that desire. Your desire is the spring that releases the energy that causes all of the atoms of your being and subconscious to come into alignment with that desire. Through our desire, we create ourselves. Like dropping coins into a wishing well or pond, we drop our desires into our subconscious. One by one, then, life takes us through experiences whereby these desires are fulfilled. Thus, when we desire to be one with God, our lives change radically because within us we have the propelling force of our desire, bringing us into circumstances that will lead us to fulfill those desires. What you desire is what you will become. What you desire is what you will become. So if you desire to be God, you become God. And that desire makes things happen in your life, or you meet circumstances in your life that paves the way for you to become what you are desiring to become. The experiences that come your way is because of what you are looking for within yourself, your desires within yourself. That is what is attracting those experiences into your life. So if you want to attract God, desire to be God. If you want to attract godly things, then desire to be God. Regarding the desire to be a saint and to be one with God, consider these words of Jesus. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. With this statement, Jesus established the unalterable truth that the attainment of perfection is possible. We understand that God is God is at once both perfect and transcendent. For he is continually transcending himself through his creation. God is expanding, becoming greater through his creation, day in, day out. So there is no ultimate in the cosmos, and yet God is and remains perfect. The cosmos keeps expanding because God is expanding. Because God has given Adjuster a drop of himself, and Adjuster has written his name on that drop, and Adjuster has increased in size. Therefore, that increase in size of Adjuster increases the size of God. Contrary to what we may think, perfection is also possible in this world. But it is not human perfection that we seek. Rather, our striving for internal perfection is fundamental to our spiritual path. For if we accept imperfection or believe that we are perfect, just that way we are, we eliminate the path of spiritual striving. If we accept imperfection or believe that we are perfect just the way we are, we eliminate the path of spiritual striving. It is saying that if because you have got certificate after attending class 1, you say, oh, that is the ultimate, I don't need anything else, you stay there at class 1. Your level in the entire life will be class 1. But if you realize that there is something else more you can do, then there will be that energy, that edge in you to strive higher. So, if because you fetch water for Adjuster this morning to drink and you think that that is a perfect thing you have done, and you are just satisfied with that, you remain there. But if you see that, oh, it is possible for me to give water to 100 people more every morning, then you will figure out how to do it. You will strive to do it. And therefore, by so doing, you will be increasing. You will be increasing. And so the attainment of God's perfection is possible because perfection is the natural estate of man towards which the soul gravitates. The soul wants to be perfect. And so, if you realize that perfection is possible, the soul will move towards perfection. That the desire to be perfect, the desire to be good, the desire to be a saint, a sage, or an adept is a legitimate desire. We need not feel guilty about that desire, although we may at times feel the condemnation or ridicule of the world. But in order to champion such desires, we will find ourselves coming apart from the mass consciousness. Desire good. It is legitimate. It is right. It is your right to desire good, to desire to be God, to desire to do good. If you desire to be good, if you desire to be God, that desire in you becomes a force that pushes you to work towards that desire. And the message is that whilst you are desiring good, look around yourself and see how many people are desiring to be that kind of good or to be good. You find a situation where the masses, the majority, are moving towards, oh, it is normal just to wake up and get to work and come back. You don't need to greet anybody and forget it. So when you wake up and anybody you see on the street, you say hi. They will say you are not normal. And so we are being told that as you desire to be perfect, you must realize that it comes to a point where you will have to separate or come apart from the mass behavior, from the mass consciousness, from the mass thinking, the way the doduona your mwadie, the way the plenty do their things, the way that is seen as a common way to do things. It will come to a point where you realize that you have to shift from that direction so that you can work your desire towards becoming God. You must become God. That is the striving that we are striving. Because the church no longer teaches the path to union with God, God has come forward with another spiritual path so that all the truth the mystics have discovered in the different mystical traditions, all these rays from the sun returning to the source, might quicken us and give us the understanding that we can also follow back to the source. That is the mystical path of today. God is striving to get us onto himself. When the path is lost, when the path of mysticism is lost, when the path of desiring to be God is lost, when the path of becoming God bearers, Christ bearers is lost, God has not left us comfortless. He has provided ways or opportunities, dispensations for us to fall back in line and move forward. That is what is introduced to us as a path of mysticism, or the mystical path today, which as we follow, we'll get to see what God has provided us today as the mystical path. God is stretching his hand to help us along the way. It is left to us to make use of the opportunity by our own free will. This is the path we pursue and teach at the Summit University, and the path that I bring to you as we have been studying all this while. And the Summit University is a university of the church where you go there and study the mysteries of life, the mystical understanding of Scripture, the mystical path, if you want to pursue it, other than sitting home and learning, which you can also do. The opportunity is also there for you to understand, attend what we call Summit University, where you go and learn the mysteries of life in much detail. Even as we invite you to join us as a keeper of the flame and register with us, so that you can follow, an outline of study that will bring you up step by step. You can always register by going online, Keepers of the Flame Fraternity, you look for it, and you can register, or you call me and I'll show you what to do to register. You can follow a path of study at your own pace, step by step, to become God, to learn the mysteries of life. You get to a point where you can also go to the Summit University, or once a while you visit us at our conferences to come and learn deeper. We who aspire to the mystical path today can call ourselves light bearers. We who aspire to the mystical path today can call ourselves light bearers. So if you hear us talking about light bearers, we are talking about people who are embodying the Christ within themselves, who are striving to embody the Christ within themselves and walk the earth as Christed beings. The Greek word Christos means anointed. Anointed with the light. So you must walk anointed with light. We are light bearers because we have the presence of the light, the Christ, in our bodies and minds. Whether we felt it or not, this light inundates or fills our soul, inspiring our heart as though waves were breaking on the shore of our being. Because we have this inner light, we are that light, and the light in us, and we are transformed, even exalted by it. The light in you transforms you. Christ in you, the hope of glory, transforms you and exalts you. A light bearer, then, is a Christ bearer. And when we feel the light, what we are feeling is our higher self, or our Christ self, occupying our soul and our body temples until the coming of our sweet Jesus. A light bearer, then, is a Christ bearer. And when we feel the light, what we are feeling is our higher self, or our Christ self, occupying our soul and our body temple until the coming of our sweet Jesus. As we mature the flame of Christ in our hearts, we know a gentle oneness that gradually becomes a more powerful union. As we mature, as we grow, as we nurture the Christ light in us to grow up in our hearts, we know the gentle, or we feel the gentle oneness, we experience the gentle oneness that gradually becomes a more powerful union. So gradually, as you work towards increasing the power of Christ in you, you begin to experience that joy of Christ. You begin to experience your union, your oneness with Christ. And you mature until you become a God-free being. The path of mysticism, or the mystical path, for us to unite with God, to become deities, to become gods in manifestation. If we go back into the book of Genesis chapter 6, where you hear of the Nephilim gods. Yes, those are the Nephilim gods, the fallen angels. But we are told the story behind them is that they were gods that were in human form walking around. So even though they were walking about as beings on earth, they were actually gods in manifestation. So we are being told that other than becoming a devil gods or demigods on earth, we can become the supreme being in manifestation, as we are replica, we are copies of that supreme being. So we should be able, we can walk this earth, and we are walking as gods. So Ajasa can be walking around town, you are seeing him, and he's drinking his cocoa and kose, but he is a full stature God. That is what we are talking about. So that you can walk on this earth and you are carrying God with you in your heart. Your entire being becomes God. So we say you have been deified. You have been deified. You have become a God. in your own right as the manifestation of the Supreme Being. That is the path we are supposed to pursue as a mystic and become united with God. In the pursuit of this, it takes gradual steps. One step at a time, gradually, small, in the little good things that we do, we are building up our Christhood. In the pursuit of this, it takes gradual steps. One step at a time, gradually, small, in the little good things that we do, we are building up our Christhood. Until one day, we are matured to the extent that we can feel our union with God, our union with Christ. And therefore, and you may, the American say, the Ayasha, I was senior Yabeka, Yabaya Yami, I was a say so no. The person, yes, I call your chicken crabby. As I call far, the Essia, senior Baya. You bet me at you as the year. The parent say Casafa, see a Christos for a disco. And a senior, I say, I'll suffer over called disco and also uncle disco. And I can't say the Nina Mono, the woman said, Obia war. And a shebre, Obia war a dear young couple and a Juma dear and young couple, dear Shannon himself, or Baba was as so. Now, say, you better call someone do aqua called Casa a chair 1 hour honsu dear. The Hiani say, or say, boy, saying to me call why. And by all means, Susu Yabeko, one far who I won't call is right him. Who calls Susua? So one boy who is sending a yes to boy one and one son of call ya. Who qua, won't mean pray. And it's also for Beko disco now. I quack or can you some archer or be more why. Or sir of one and who sending our call honor this one cofano. This conan cofano. And here, so Yasa and Boabuano. And it's all who's also forward this qua. Near Mecan say, Abu Siabu Trekakra. Who named the Yamia Sumano say, Uncle Uncle ye, empty. I would try. Maybe an aya and Yamia management say, Uncle ye, ewo. And ye can't, and some Efasenia, ye bet Yami Ewasa say so no. The yes, Shani say, ye. I said yes, say ye be done in your hunyame Ewasa say so. Now say be done in your hunyame, and unsini saying. Yami or Bonnie and Swanning is as well, anti or noir and a awayemu. Nanso, sa a jano and dairy awayemu. Or say, ye, Fiesania, ye be who sa jano. Na ya Bonnie home buying. Now what to me a dairy a year awayemu. Now I say, na can't it no. A Christopher says, Christopher, or one amotono, and I'm quite swat. Say, omo be dani nyame. Christopher to anamwa. Na omo to anamwa se nya omo be dani nyame e wasase so. Omo be dani nyame anu ni sesan. Se ukope kuba bobi na odi tu edua bia se na o sori de bia na odi engo kokko gogusu a. Kakra no. Na sunsun bia wurum. According to Yamibia, wako udiako si ho. Sana tie. Wonsusu wo hoi. Ubetumi adane nyame. Ebo no enhia wankasa. Anamotuo bi wo ho a wutu a ehun hia se ukwa akɔhwe nwukɔkɔ agu ebo bi so. Na wo arehwem say wo di hwes aguso a sunsum bi bewram anase sunsum be free ho na abo abeboa wo wankasa no wo ye nyame wankasa wo ye tumi bi a wo dinam na sa tumi no meka na sen etaho or say ukenya no or say ukenya sa tumi no na anamwa se nya obenya tu kenya sa tumi no a odi be yedwuma no ono na ye chew se kwan bi anamato bi wo ho utu a na uni onyame montem ayetia eyadia na ewo ho quantity na de yesu ani se enemre dodo na enche ye wasori se wonsusu betumi aye nipa kronkron wonsusu betumi aye nyame wonsusu betumi aye Christo na o se nyanti ase se obetumi aye nyame na obetumi aye Christo nsusu dia na ehia se sa mekana say desire sa akono no o se ewo wu mu na de eye wa akono ade no onu na ekire senia wudwen ne ma hofa onu na ekire dia esisi wo wa kwan mu efise once wadwen eda bibu se mi pade wei say sumi nsam na se tembia wadwen ko hunu a niema sisi wo wa kwan mu a etwen wo eben sa de na wadwen down say me pesa de we onu nti na kono bone enye onu nti na kono bone enye because akono bone no ebetwen wo ma akoye sa bone no de wa kono eko hunu onu na obeye enti se wo pese wo nyame a ene manyame ni ye anase nyame pe no enye wakono de se ba no sa na de ebesisi wo wakwam no nyina no ebeye ade a wakono de no ena etwi eba wo nchen efi se akoye ti se tumi bi a ekenya wo na wutwi akoye magnet wutwi saade no eba wa afam sa wo pese wo ye driver wa kono de nso pese wo ye driver uhwa no na obi a park o car ni car na o say oh cause park car no too homa me no wasua se na park car o be boy ni empia car no no wasua se na empia car sa kakra na da krona nipa no say okay ene mayanko ro na me ko kire we sa akono a ewo mu no onu na etwi niema a esisi wo wafan enti se ohu se adiboni nko na esisi wo wafan ene hwe wa akono hwe wa akono de wide wadwen ko se anu na wo pe no ona wo hwehwe no hwe yi niye e bia na enko correct onu nti na etwitwi sa experience no eba wa fam. If bad things are the things happening in your life or the bad experiences are the things you are experiencing, then check your desire. Because your desire is the magnet drawing those experiences in your way. Say, why do you down self person yami? Why do you down self person nipa kronkron? Ai, nyame ne gya no ebedoso wo mu, ebedere ewo mu. De koba no sanso a na unu nyame entem ene aiben ene yetia. Ehia se yen sofo nom asori nom yen kire ensori manon se ubetumi aye nipa kronkron. Ubetumi aye Christo. Ubetumi ananti se nyame e wasase so. Ubetumi aye nipa kronkron. Ubetumi aye nipa trini nyame oye trini na nyame nsusu no oye kese na oye kese nsusu no na ni kese no esro na eko o koso oye kese se de nsi se wu a oye nyame ba no wama akwenya se jeni fan we na won susu kochro wudin wo so enti se oba na se wudi sa afa no edi djuma na se won susu obedane nyame e wasase so a na wakoka nyame ho na nyame ne kese no na atre na koso enti se nyame ba num enyi koso a na nyame nsusu sa koso mo enti enya ade abeka se nyame betumi akitiwa de bia tembiara da because ni banum once ni banum ebeye nyame etwu nyame gyan komu a omutrotro modin wo so no nyame esroa na oko enti de woman say sana motuoyi na ewo ho kan titi nanso enemre akoye se ayira na ene ya akwenya se yebehwe atumi atusa anamonu biom efise eyade ehia se yetwin ben ye nyame na se sa na motuo no ayira yen na se ensori ntre sa de no biom akoye te se ya akọ hintan ye no nyankopon ono nsusu ne adwuma oye di boya ne se obehwe akwenya obefaso kwan obefaso ama ya akwenya senia yebetumi anya astu sa na mo no se ye pa efise ye wo ye pe se nyame se to ana mo se to no se na se wo se wo nya ono de won to me for so de ehia ne se wa ma akwenya ono ena ye ka ho asem se ane enemre akwenya bia ma aba amayen se betu anamo nyasa kwanu etu anamo ena ye tre ade a eba ha ebeche mo ne nyina eya akwenya a nyame edi amayen eye suanu kakra ahu akwenya no yie na ye nso ya to ho anamo ono na ye tre se adesuanu ewo ho ma ba ha abechra ade enye ne nyina ne ye ntumi nkire ne nyina ewa ha ebinum adechre no ebinum po adu university level I friends Hamilton University nti uni ye register obetumi asua ade ewo fie ntutu aso wano ye bechra dia obesua bra wo fie no na edum pempenso bi nsusu a na ospese usua no mo a ye wo university level nsusu wo ho a usua nyame nsem even to the university level ni nyina ya akwenya anyame ede amaye se ye nsusu ye be ye Christo e wa asase so na se ye be ka se ebinum ho ha wona omatwe Christo ache omutu amana mo wa asase so enanti te se nyame no ye fra omu se wona omukura nyame esa nsusu na wona omukura nyame no eye Christo ni ja ena owo omu onu ntina ye se ona omu ye nipa omukura nyame tembia omutu amana mo no nyame ona omudi enam na Christo ni ja no onu ni haina ewo yemu a yetumi ebeye nyame ewa asase so na Christos asiane se Greek kasa a chese anointed ngosra nti se sawo mu a ngosra no eye han no kanea no ene ere sawo ngo na ewo woso enti se si obi a okra han a na chese nipa no Christo ewo ne mu nti ye friend Lightbearer ye ka ye nsema anase ye nchirechire mu a ye si Lightbearer nti ye kan Lightbearer na ekire se obi a Christo ewo ne mu obi a o experience Christo nso no na o experience the friend the higher self nyame a ewo wo nchen anase ben wo Christo na ewo wo mu onu na odi edi djuma ewo wo kram ewo wo temple anase nipadua no mu no onu na odi edi djuma Sabre, copy say, Yesu Christo Nankasa, Ebeba, Abera Wumo, complete. Wano, or say yin. Ewo ye nantiemu. Ewo ye Christo nantiemu. Christo no jano ewo ye mu. Or ye say ye who sa jano. Na ederi. Copy sa brena. Ebeye Jaframa kese ankasa. Yensu yedi nanti ewa asase so. Na utumi unsusu no wanya tumi se obeye ade te se nyame ewa asase so. Embe hia se wo baby ekopri say bi petumi say fa join bra fa nantwie bra fa we bra ansa na wanya tumi wankasa no wo ye tumi a wo nante kenya sa tumi no na fa ejuma Christo die mu etiefo miri besi ha na ya bue phone lines no na mo abem na ya tua ye nkomo eso.
Okay, I have Pink 96.9 FM, Reverend Lambert in Tibri, say. Your money to young co-person, you also be to your friend now. This time, call number 0240358182 0240358182 Hello. Good evening. Good evening, sir. No reference. Was waiting for 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 DJ Amingo onye there and Kusi also onye let them say information center onye and Garlic information center onye onye there as a team on catch Master Peter walk there teacher DJ Amingo no team on catch 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 Reverend Bibisa question.
Sene ebe nyame ono aho ade na yesua no enti ye tuaso a obehu anamoto no na se opese osua de ewetwe anya radio nsun kwanso a mpacho obetumi aframe na anase mama mi WhatsApp or mi phone number no so na my connection but one hour mutumi call Abel Fontaine times no we call keepers of the flame fraternity who are na one registration no but to be very easier say we will contact me na mabua ya church we no nyina mo
0240 358 182 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 so wait me after who question there na we bisa 0240 358 182 0240 358 182 Reverend Lambert in Table, peace to the kingdom, peace to the kingdom, Jumedino, and or the Abraham, yeah, and they see a dear baby, they be a chihuahua, Jane also afraid, now also, maybe sir, ɛda na amanfo bisa sɛ ɛdɛn na sɔfo kɔyɛ kɔdi dwuma wɔ club kɔdi dwuma wɔ ghetto ne adeadeɛ na bɛbɛ kyerɛ mu sɛ purpose na wɔde kɔ hɔ no sɛ wanso mu din a wanhwɛ ni a wɔmmɔ wu akɔdane wanso mu din a wu akɔyɛ te sɛ wɔn nti obia ne purpose a ɔde wura hɔ ba mɛmfa ne sɛ wokɔyɛ ebi a obi a ɔkɔ club dada na wokɔfa so aka sɛ wokɔfa no so wode akɔ dabi ɛno deɛ ɛbɛyɛ den ɛbɛyɛ den paa nti ebia na wokɔ na wokɔhyia wo sɔfo wɔ club hɔ na mpɛntɛm ɛmbu nothing ana reverend
saa
ebia wo ne wadanfo pie mu yɛ mɔkɔ wura club bi mu wɔ ebia East Legon hɔ baabi wohwɛ na ɔsɔfo gyina mu ɛno nso bɛ depending on the sɔfo ne yi o nti mpɛntɛm na nkɔbu sɔfo atɛn sɛ yɛ na mekɔ me ha na mekɔhyia sɔfo na sɔfo ɛne abayɛ bi wɔ wankɔn abiana sɔfo no ɔno dwumadie a ɔno nso ɛde aboa nyame adwuma ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛbi a club kɔ na ɛyɛ ne dɛ mɛmpɛntɛm na mbu natɛm 0240-358-182 aha yɛ pink 96.9 FM Reverend
yo, I just and that's it. I mean that here for us it. The woman in an say yana motu a year to us I say so. Nina Gina ya conodie do na enti sayan direct ya conodie no sayan ko in fact kwan a ebe boa ye ma be nyame a ene ebe ha de wudwin e wo akoma no mu no onu a na obeba bedane onu na ekoso e wo adwin mu our desires shape our life. That is what the message is driving us to. Our desires become the magnet drawing onto us various kinds of experiences fashioned or woven towards our achieving of that desire. So be careful what your desire is all about. If your desire is to be God, then you will become God. Things will happen in your life that will be drawing you Godwards. If your desire is to be an armed robber, you will become an armed robber. So don't be thinking of what you don't want to be. Think of what you want to be. And since we are on this earth to manifest God, to attain our godhood, you must desire God in everything that you do. And we have learned that whilst you are following that path that I'm designed to be God, understand that we are the mass on this earth. Plenty people on this earth. And the majority are not thinking that way. So you are likely to be seen as an awkward person when you are pursuing that path. Be ready for that solitude path. Be ready to separate yourself. Come apart and be a chosen people. Etie for asasi so ayewe ye buy say ye bed dan ye ho nyame. Ana say ye fa ye nyame ntuma no afra. Ewo ye mu eja no wo ye mu. Ye hu sa aja no na endere enye ewo ye mu. Se ne ebe ya ye nso ebe ye nyame. Hwe se wo akono de bia no akono enko se wo penyame o hia nyame wo mu. Wo hia se obe ya nyame. Onu na ebe twi niema ebe sisi wo akwan ma ebe ma wa ben nyame. Na wo se wo ye wa adwin se o me de me person me arm robber, person me arm robber. Ono na obedane. Because ono na aye wope. Ono na aye tumi a wori ahye omu e na etwi enu hu nsam, enu hu niema e ba won chen. Enti ye nyina ye mfa no se ye dwen senia ye ba ye nyame. Ono na ebeboa ye na ye nsusu ya be ye nyame. Ye pese ye nanti asase so ti se nyame ye kasa na ebem nyame peso. Eti for me di be CS phone line number via call bia and baby one ene ye di be esi ha me di minaba no be tudwa na wa obe pese unya akwenya na usa suade otu asusuade outside radio station in pato wo fa me number na utumi ma me hi wo WhatsApp na ya tua so e wo ho no me number 020 812 5078 020 812 5078 Church Universal and Triumphant ya so e Adenta SDA Junction ye ben Mamido Kuno Eskum ho a Nyame ya doma da sende ye be hia biom na ya tua ye adesua so ye doma se bebre